know what's going on. It's not live yet. Okay, let's try that again. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Candid Conversations. Thank you for tuning in on Monday evening, October 3rd. We have a pretty full show lined up for you this evening. I know those of you who are used to watching probably noticed something different about my voice. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I guess I have a case of laryngitis, so I am going to do the best I can to make it through because this show is special and we planned for it. So I do want to let you know I have been relaxing for the most part for the last couple of days. So I don't really have any news. I have not been watching the news. I've just been trying to get myself together, my body together, which is a good thing because we're talking to somebody tonight about health. So hopefully we can all get some pointers and find out what's going on in her world. So I'm not going to take a long time, just so I can save my voice and have time for the rest of the show. Our boss chick is up next. Her name is Aliyah Abdullah, and she has some spectacular things to share with us. I have some questions to ask because on her resume there is a profession on there or a duty on there that I don't really know about. So I have questions about that. But she is going to talk to us about health and wellness. And so get your pen and pad ready to take some notes and find out how you too can become a boss chick. So without further ado, Aliyah Abdullah. Hi there, how are you? Oh, can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
Oh,
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You can't hear me?
Okay. No, I can't, but I heard the intro. I could hear all the music.
Hold on one second. Okay, did that help at all? No? All right.
Let me try. Let's see what I can do. 1 second.
I hear you fine. I don't know what's going on. Okay, Lika is saying she can hear both of us.
I
Okay.
can hear you now.
Oh, you can hear me now? Okay.
Yes, perfect.
Sounds good. Sorry about that. So welcome to Candid Conversations, Aliyah Abdullah. Abdullah. How do you say your last name? I don't like it.
Yeah, Abdullah.
Abdullah. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Well, welcome to the show. I'm glad to have you here, and I'm so excited to just learn about what you do. I was already just impressed with the high resolution photo that you sent over with the boxing gloves. So I'm like, oh, what's she going to talk about? So I want to hear about that. But first, the first thing on your resume is a UX design. Is that
Yes.
okay? So can you talk about that because I don't know what that means at all.
Okay. Yes. Well, for one, thank you for having me on here for this conversation. And two, so diving into UX design, So UX stands for user experience.
Okay.
And a quick backstory into that is I actually have recently made the career change. So I've kind of grazed upon the industry and touching some of the ins and outs of UX design, but I predominantly had a background in marketing.
Okay.
And I kind of just have this epiphany moment of, I think I'm ready for a change. I want to take that next step. And what does that look like? What can that be? And what were my skill sets that I can transfer over? So with user experience and product design. So let's say, for example, you have an app or you have a website. So there's usually a user experience designer that's strategically placing and intentionally placing, whether it's links that you're clicking,
Mm.
the height of the text, and where an image sits to draw and capture your attention. So there's a little bit of psychology that's also wrapped within it as well. But at the end of the day, I think what drew me to it most is the design thinking process, which is similar to being an entrepreneur, where you have to observe people, you have to look and see what are their needs and what are their natural behaviors before you take that next step, which is what I've been doing lately is UX research and
Oh,
asking questions, designing something. I have an app on my website on aliyah.com that I did for a candle marketplace, but basically, I'm designing to solve a need and I'm also designing to make the experience seamless. So great design is when you don't know that something is designed.
good, good.
Yeah.
Okay, and so, like, what type of do you work with individuals, or you work with companies, or you work with, like, nonprofit organizations? Who do you typically design for?
Yes. So with the start of it, I've been building up my portfolio. In the past, I worked with a nonprofit or two nonprofits, actually. So the Jug Life Foundation was my first entry or step into UX design. And that was quite some years ago. It wasn't like an official position, but it kind of just somehow fell into the marketing arm because the industry itself is relatively popular now. But back then, it was like something needed to be done or like someone needed to do it, and by default, it was just throw it to the marketing department. Um, yeah, so that being said, I did the Jug Life Foundation, and then the most recent one when I was working with Scale Inspire, which is a foundation that's geared towards exposing inner city youth and kids to the design thinking process
Okay,
and entrepreneurship. So it's the slogan is for youth by youth, and it's having kids go through a hackathon, working with mentors at the college level and also at the executive level to have them start thinking critically about what issues are going on in the community and how they would solve for that, whether it's by designing something through an app digitally or designing an experience or just designing something to solve the need. And so this most recent one we did, it was around mental health. And one of our students designed an app for communicating directly within family members or with friends where you have a status update, and based off those status updates or how you're feeling, there's resources that are sent to you. Um, and also it is kind of a conversation starter, let's say, for some of those tricky conversations. But the whole point is to kind of ignite a conversation between, let's say, parent and child, or let's say that there's a health professional and child, but just so that the youth don't feel isolated or feel alone.
okay.
um, and that app was an idea that was sparked by one of our students. And then from there, then the next step of that was taking it into development and designing what does the app look like? What does it feel like? What are the pages that someone's clicking through um, to try and achieve what their goal is, if that makes sense?
Yeah, so how long did they spend on the idea conception before they moved into the design?
So we had our students going through it for about 6 weeks. The initial kickstart of the program was like a half day thing. We were working with the students in Compton Unified School District,
Okay,
and they were meeting with us and meeting with their mentors weekly for over the course of 6 weeks. And it was kind of tied into their school curriculum for their nursing program class.
okay.
And as a result of that, then we had a showcase towards the end where all the students had the opportunity to pitch for everyone that was watching virtually because it was during COVID,
Right.
or the COVID restrictions, but they were pitching their ideas. They got to talk about it from start to finish. They got to talk about their exposure to, it's called adverse childhood experiences, and how that impacts and how that trauma impacts how students are showing up for school, or what the things that are and emotions that they're experiencing on a day-to-day basis. So they were educated in that sense, exposed to what resources are out there for them and available for them, and then also coming up again with the idea of, this is for youth by youth. So what is something that I would want to use to help alleviate some of the stressors, or alleviate some of the experiences that I'm going through, or lack of communication for that matter.
And so what's the age range of these students?
They were in high school. They
Oh,
were in
okay.
high school, yes. And our most recent one, her name was Abigail Vargas. She graduated and is in her first year at UC Irvine. And she's still continuing the nursing program as far as we know right now. But where we are is gearing up to kickstart another rotation of this, but making smaller experiences so that we can reach more students and work with more kids. But I think the biggest thing I would say from the experience is watching her confidence shoot up from the start of the program. She was actually a very, very shy girl, to where she was afterwards, of just leading the whole presentation, speaking on, there was actually a health summit that was put on by Blue Shield, because Blue Shield funded part of
Okay.
the project, and she went on to speak and talk about her project, which was great.
Nice.
Yeah.
In front of a lot of people?
Virtually, of course.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Now I want to back up a minute, because you kind of said something really fast. You said something about a hackathon. Now,
Mhm.
that to me sounds like you're teaching them to hack things. Like, and when I think of hacker, I think of somebody stealing my money out of my bank account. So can you just expound on that just a little bit? Because I'm sure what you're doing is positive.
Yes, yes, yes. So basically, a hackathon is geared around, let's say that there is a code you're trying to crack, or a problem you're trying to crack. Just look at it that way.
Okay.
That's kind of, I guess, the positive spin on it.
Mhm.
And it's getting a group of people together to put their minds together to try and solve what that issue is within a condensed amount of time, or an
Okay.
accelerated amount of time.
And do they work in groups? Like, do they help each other, or are they evaluated just individually? Oh, they work in groups.
Yeah, it's groups. So the most recent one we did, we had different teams, and we had them based on different colors. So they were pods. And we have it stacked where there was a working mentor, a working professional that's a mentor, a college mentor, and then the high school student. So with that, it's like there's an opportunity for the college student to get a little bit of mentorship in terms of
Mhm.
management style, and working with working with the working professional
Okay.
that's kind of guiding them and helping them coordinate the group together. And then the high school student, obviously there's such a leap between being in high school and then working with someone who is well into their career. So having that middle ground of a college student that's there, that's not too much older than them, that can still relate to them, but also has a little bit more of experience that they can share, and wisdom that they can share. And so collectively, there were maybe around 4 to 5 students per pod, and then 1 to 2 college mentors, and then 1 executive young or working professional mentor.
Okay. That
Yeah.
sounds very well planned out. Sounds nice.
Yeah.
And I remember we talked, I don't know, earlier in the year, and because I wanted you for season 5, but
Mhm.
I know you had a lot going on, and I can see. So are you happy with the outcome?
Yes, I am happy with the outcome. I'm happy with the outcome mainly because of how we started the conversation, which is UX design. So I just recently added everything to my portfolio. I'm applying for apprenticeship programs and for entry level positions because I am making the career change. And within that process, of course, I did start a company with my business partner, Chloe, called Continua, like maybe 2 years ago, before I decided to make this career change.
Yeah.
And we're still doing that. However, we have both positioned it to be more of a side hustle at this moment. And at the time that you and I were speaking, the first or the 2 years prior to that, it was our priority. Like, that was how I was spending my day in and day out, and so I was in a transitional phase of still kind of figuring out where does this fit in my life? I still love to do it, and I'm still an entrepreneur at heart,
Yeah.
but I also am seeing a career path going this direction that I'm interested in, and I think that it's aligned with who I am and how I'm growing. So how can I do both? And at the time, I didn't have that answer. So
I understand that. Excuse me.
oh, it's okay. I have some tea right here too. It might be a little bit too hot, so I'm just looking at it and waiting for it to cool down.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's kind of the life of the entrepreneur, right? Because we want to live our passion, but at the same time, we have to pay our bills. And our
Right.
goal or our vision is for that passion to become our major source of income. But in the meantime, we're flexible and we have to be. So yeah, I admire that. And what was I going to ask? Okay, so you mentioned your business partner. Now, is your business partner the same person who is on the podcast with you? 'Cause I was
Yes.
talk
Yes.
about okay. Tell me about the podcast.
Yes. So we have the Continuum Vitality podcast, which we started that not too long after we started just our concept of Continua. And at that time, we were doing fitness pop ups with a live DJ, and it was a beat based class because my background was
Okay.
um, I was a dancer and a gymnast, and my way of getting through classes was depending upon like if the beat's not like if it knocks, if it's banging, like that's what I'm going to instead of getting caught up on all right, I have like 5 more reps or I have 10 more reps. If I lost myself just emotionally, I think to the music, I wasn't focusing too much on how many more I had to do. So it was more of a motivational piece. And in that process, we got a lot of people that were asking us more and more questions about health.
Mhm.
And of course, just health and wellness is such a broad spectrum and a broad paintbrush to even just say. And since it's so nuanced and there's so many different amazing things to learn about the body, we decided that we wanted to have a podcast for those conversations, but we wanted it to be relatable and conversational, not necessarily something where you're cracking open a textbook and, getting all the anatomy and physiology terms like that. It's a lot.
Yeah.
So with that, it's okay, where's the connection between health and culture with that? Like, how do we make health and wellness more engaging, more relatable, and seem like it's something that someone can incorporate within their lifestyle? And that's how we arrived on the podcast idea. And with that, we had like a sleep psychologist, we had
Oh,
pro and ex-pro athletes come on. We've had a physical therapist, we had a body worker, we've had some personal trainers, Olympians, we've had a variety of different people come on, hormone expert and nutritionist as well. We've had a variety of people come on to talk about different topics
okay.
about the body. And of course, bringing humor, bringing music, and just making it kind of like a discussion. If someone's curious, like you don't have to feel intimidated by extremely large words, you know what I mean, and how these things function. But we all have a body, and our goal is to empower people and at least just spark their curiosity for them to take better care of themselves and to feel empowered by the fact that they can take care of themselves.
Right. And did you say how long have you had the podcast?
We started the podcast. I think our first episode came out 2021, January of 2021. So I guess that's almost going on 2 years.
Almost. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
nice. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry, my voice is starting to go out. But I did notice that you and I graduated from the same college. So you are a Trojan. So
Yes. Fight on. Fight
yes.
for
Um,
sure.
yes. And so we won't talk about the years that we came out. That's not important.
Right.
The important part is that you have 2 degrees from USC. And so I
Mhm.
know that they are tied into your health and wellness, but can you just say really quickly what they're in?
Yes. So my master's, it's a Master of Science in Entrepreneurship and Innovation.
Okay.
And then for undergrad, I did public relations and sports media.
Oh, sports. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Well, I am going to ask that you share with the audience 2 things.
Yes.
First of all, in your own words and in your eyes, what makes you a boss chick? And then behind that, if you could just share some nuggets for an aspiring boss chick entrepreneur, up and coming, visionary?
Yes. So I guess I would say the first thing that comes to mind to me naturally of why I would consider myself a boss chick is just having the courage to try. If there's something that I'm curious about when it comes to work or my passions and just taking action, I do it. And I would definitely say there's been plenty of times I've taken a leap of faith when I know I didn't have enough information, I didn't really have the resources or a plan, but I just felt like I'm going to do this and I'm going to figure it out.
Yeah,
So, yeah, and I think that that's what's necessary to be an entrepreneur. Like you got to hustle and be open and curious to wear multiple different hats. And by that piece I think would probably be the advice, which would I would tie over into your second question, is wearing multiple hats and just having the tenacity to roll up your sleeves and try something. And it's okay if you're not good at it, and it's just as important to know what your strengths are as well as your weaknesses. There's plenty of things that I've done that I have not been great at, and I'm happy to know that, because now I'm like, oh, I don't have to waste my time. I can be more strategic with where I am spending my time, with what lights me up inside, where do I feel like I have the greatest impact. So I'm not only pouring out to other people, but I'm also not pouring from an empty cup. So I'm a firm believer, I think, in, like, yes, you said you got to pay the bills. Like, that's not something where I'm like, just follow your passion and the money will come. Like,
yeah,
yeah, we hear that saying all the time, but I think at the end of the day, like, I think it's a fine balance between the two. Like, keep that realistically in mind on the side of what you can do to support what your passion is, but don't ultimately just let your passion go, or let your interest go, and let your gift to the world go, because at the end of the day everything will come together, but it's just having the courage to take that step and take that leap.
absolutely. Well, thank you. And I'm going to ask that you share one more time your website or how best you would like for people to get in touch with you if they need to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So for Continua, our podcast slash, we're doing fitness pop-ups at Blackbird House in Culver City here right now. So we are still doing a couple fitness classes, but that is the Continua. So TheContinua.com. And then as far as UX design and me personally, my website is Aliyah A. So ALIYAH.com.
All right. Well, I would like to extend to you an invitation to stay for Girl Talk, which is later in the show where we answer viewers' relationship questions. Are you ready for that?
Yes, I will probably be listening a lot more than I'm answering those questions, but yes.
All right, sounds good. All right, everybody. Well, up next is Miss Lika the Diva with the spotlight on beauty.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ms. Lika the Diva, your favorite skincare and beauty consultant. And today's spotlight on beauty is specifically to talk about mascara. So I'm certain that many of us who wear makeup wear mascara, right? So I have my falsies on today just so you can actually see my lashes. But actually, this would also apply to those who wear falsies as well. So, did you know that you are supposed to replace your mascara every 3 months? If you didn't know that, now you know. And let's talk a little bit about why you need to replace it that often. Now, I get this question all the time. Okay, what if I don't wear mascara every day? Should I still switch out my mascara every 3 months? And to that, I respond yes and no. So you could probably extend it to maybe between 4 and 6 months if you don't wear your mascara regularly. But for a girl like me who wears mascara pretty much every day, I am committed to replacing my mascara every 3 months for one of these 3 reasons. So, reason number 3, if my lashes are starting to feel crumbly or start to get sparse, then you know that it's time to replace your mascara because you're probably experiencing the number 1 reason. Um, but you definitely don't want to use dry mascara. Like, once it starts to dry out, you definitely want to do that because that will also contribute to having sparse lashes because now you've got a dry brush and you're pulling on your very delicate lashes. So that's the 3rd reason, right? Reason number 2, if you find that you are your mascara is performing poorly, it's probably time to replace it as well. If it's flaking, if it's clumping up, or even if it smells bad. Okay. And I honestly believe that the first 2 reasons are attributed to reason number 1. And this is the scariest reason why. And that is because of germs. Okay. Now, we're all adults here. I'm pretty sure we all know that on your body, we all have naturally occurring bacteria that occurs on our bodies, right? So in your eye area, especially, there's bacteria that lives on your eyelashes. Now, it's microscopic. You can't see it unless you're under a microscope. However, what you don't want to do is you don't want those bacteria to grow. You don't want them to grow to be too much, because if you do, that's when you start to get into having pink eye and eye irritations. And I'll just tell you this right now. I Googled it this morning, and I suggest you do the same if you are not quite believing me that you should be replacing your mascara every 3 months. Google eye mites for humans, or eye mites in humans, okay? Because dogs have eye mites too. We're not talking about that. We're talking about human eye mites. It's the microscopic bacteria that lives on your eyelashes that if it grows out of control, that's when you start having these eye irritations and whatnot. So why replace the mascara every 3 months? Because when you put mascara on your lashes, it's touching these bacteria, right? So the bacteria tends to get on the brush, and then you put the brush back in the tube. And then what happens in the tube? Well, now the bacteria is in your tube, and the tube is dark, warm, and moist. And those are the 3 top things that bacteria like the most and where they grow the fastest. So because we probably all learned this in junior high, not to share eye products with our friends, right? That is why, because now the bacteria from my eyes is in my mascara bottle or my mascara tube. And now if I loan it to you, now you're putting my bacteria on your eyes, and then your bacteria is going into my mascara tube. Yuck, yuck, yuck. It's gross. Let's just leave it at that. So we want to, this is all in the name of encouraging, good health with our beauty products. So number 1, so here are my suggestions. 1, make sure that you create a routine for yourself. Put it on your calendar every 3 months. It's time to replace my mascara. And 2, and I'll tell you, I purposely am talking about mascara in the month of October because we all know the last day of this month is Halloween and it's scary season, right? Well, I always use the month of October to share this mascara information because it is Scary Mascara Month in my books. So all of these things, eye mites are scary, these eye irritations, it's all scary sounding, right? That's why I talk about it in October. So make sure that you are changing your mascara every 3 months. So I just switched mine out on October 1st, and I won't have to do it again until January 1st, right? And every 3 months after that. And then secondly, make sure that you are always taking your eye makeup off at the end of the day. That also can contribute, leaving your mascara on your eyelashes can also contribute to eye irritations and whatnot. Okay. So find a good eye makeup remover. Make sure you are washing your face every night. It is just as important as brushing your teeth. And be sure to replace your mascara every 3 months. Again, my name is Ms. Lika the Diva. I am your favorite skincare and beauty consultant. I can be found on Instagram at Makeup by Ms. Lika. I also have a second Instagram account. That's my personal account, is Ms. Lika the Diva. So love to have you come through. And if you want to talk more about mascara and, eye health, please, please, please do not hesitate to reach out. And with that, it is time for Girl Talk.
First and foremost, you need to have your wine.
Oh, yes. It's time for Girl Talk with Dawn B, LaTanya, and yours truly, your laid back, down to earth life coach. All right, ladies, it's time to decide. Would you like a question, a scenario, or a personal truth? Think about it. But whatever you choose, just don't forget the wine.
I don't know why
Hi.
I'm muted somewhere. All right. Welcome, ladies. Good evening. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Amazing.
Okay. Let's see. Oh no, I don't like that. Okay. I was trying to see if we could fill in that background. All right, so I'm glad to see you guys. Sorry about my voice. I'm probably not gonna do as much talking, but so this is what I'm gonna ask tonight. If when is your turn, I will ask you what choice you like, but if you could read it, that would be great. Okay.
Gotcha. Well, I mean,
All
what's
right.
that? Is it a birthday lost voice? Are you okay?
I don't know. I was feeling fine, and then I felt like I had a cold like halfway through yesterday, and then I, rested, got some rest because that's usually what I do if I feel like a germ coming on. I rest, and then I woke up and my voice was kind of like this, and then halfway through the day today, I completely lost my voice. So I got a little bit of it back now, but yeah, so I don't really know. Like I don't feel like I have a cold now. It just my voice sounds like this.
Nothing a little tequila won't handle. Okay, girl, let's go.
We're drinking wine, not tequila.
Well, I have one.
See for yourself.
All right, so I would like to introduce Aliyah to the panel. So Aliyah, welcome again. And next to you is Miss Lika the Diva. And then down on the bottom row is Don B
Hey.
and LaTanya.
Hey.
Boss chicks. I call us the winner circle. All right. So how this works really quickly is every lady on the panel has an opportunity to choose. Are you laughing at me or LaTanya?
I didn't know this.
As an opportunity to choose. That's okay. A question, a scenario, or a personal truth. When it is that lady's turn, they have uninterrupted time to answer, and when they're done, the rest of us will chime in. And I typically start with the lady who is to the left of me on my screen. So that would be you, Miss Lika the Diva.
Alrighty, let's go with, I think I'm always scared of the question. So let's go with the question today.
Oh, okay.
Why do so many women think that sex is the way to prove your love to a man? Well, I mean, to be totally honest, probably because that's what we've been told forever. And I'm not saying that makes it right, but that's what we've been told. You know, our worth is often what is the word I'm looking for? Our worth is often connected to our connection to a man or a significant other, right? And, you know, yes, we are nurturers by nature as women, but it's always in the context of make sure you're nurturing your man. Like, yes, nurture your children, all of that, but also for your man. And so part of that often is the physical aspect. And I, again, am not saying that makes it right, but often I think it's because that's just what we're told. And I think it's part of a relationship for sure. It's an important part, but it is not the only, right? And it's not necessarily even the most important part of a relationship, in my opinion. And I'll leave it at that. I want to hear what the ladies have to say because Dawn is itching. I see it.
Should I show the question again?
Mm-hmm.
Why do so many women think that sex is the way to prove your love to a man?
Because that's what, I don't know. That's what men say. That's not what we've been told. That's what they say. If you love me, you would bust down tonight. I don't know. I don't think. Why do so many? Because they goofy. I don't know. I don't think that. But do people still think that?
I don't think.
Somebody does.
So do people think that past a certain age, like once you get older, you know that that's not it? But I blame it on Missy. That song they made that back in the day. Don't fail me now. Oh. So he don't want nobody else.
Well, I mean, yeah, we've all heard things like that, right? If you don't do certain things, then he'll look away or he'll be distracted or.
Guess that's why.
No, you know, honestly, I think a lot has to do with just kind of like being like that's what we were told over time from, I'll just say, starting from back in the day with 2 Live Crew. It's just like men talk about sex videos. It's just that's what men want to see. That's what men like. And so to women, if they really look into those type of things, it's like, okay, this is the way. This is what I have to do. And I mean, over time that gets old. Not, I won't say old, but I mean, shoot, when men get old, things dry up and stuff don't rise the same. So
well, I was gonna say, I remember it was in between my marriages. So after the first marriage, before the second marriage, and I think it was toward the end of my first marriage because I was going to a marriage conference, and it was a Christian run conference, based on the Bible, biblical principles, rules, and things like that. And I remember that the person who spoke was a pastor, and he said, men think about sex like every 3 seconds. And then he was like, Christian men think about sex every 3 seconds. So that's probably why it's on their mind all the time. So if you can't converse about it, if you can't be, available for that, then they do kind of feel like they're not loved or that they're rejected in some way. So, I mean, I'm not a man, but that stuck with me because I used to think like, just wild, hoish men thought about sex all the time. So when he said that, I was like, oh, really? Like, oh, okay. So that's how they're wired. So that's how that's a valuable part of a relationship for them. Not saying that every man who's asking for it wants a relationship and that they're valuing you.
But the question was, why do so many women think? Okay, I think that's
what I'm saying. They because men say it is.
Through them.
Okay, we're done with that question. All right. Aliyah, are you ready for your choice?
Yes. So it's question, scenario, and then a truth.
A personal truth.
Okay.
Which one would you?
I'll go with the question.
All right. I need you to read it for me.
Okay. If your homegirl likes a man, but he doesn't like her, he likes you, is he off limits? That's a very good question. That is a very good question because I think that happens often. But maybe, I think to your point, LaTanya, about age, I think when you're younger, it's a bigger deal when a situation like that happens. But I think when you're older, it's such a I feel like there's so many different factors that come into play with that. Like, I guess my personal opinion, actually, that's probably where I should go with it, is if he's not entertaining, or not even if he's not entertaining, I don't think as people we get to choose who or how someone feels and have control over telling our friend. Or I guess for me, it's like if I was in the opposite scenario and I liked a guy, he doesn't like me, he likes my friend, I'm not gonna block my friend from a potential relationship or happiness just because that's what I want. Like, because then I'm making that whole scenario about me. I'm not considering her and I'm not considering him as well. And there's more guys. Like, if he doesn't like me, then I'll just go find somebody else who actually does like me. Because I wouldn't want to be trying to convince or prove to him why he should like me. And I think it creates an unhealthy sense of competition between someone who's supposed to be my friend. I don't think that's healthy. So I guess I don't know if that answers the question or not. I wouldn't necessarily say off limits, but I don't. If the shoe's on the other foot, I don't think it's my place to try and claim dibs on someone else and potentially block them from their happiness. So
I agree with you 100%. And I don't know if it has anything to do with age or just maturity. Sorry, I'm gonna stop talking.
Okay, well, I think this could be two different ways. Wait, what did you say, Aliyah? If it was the other way around, like if I like somebody but then he liked my girl, I wouldn't even say, I'd be like, girl, go for it, but expect me to flirt with him every time he be around. Right. And also, no, for real, like, if it's a legit guy, like, why make it a waste of a man? Like, ain't no fun if the homies can't have none. Like, for real, like, dude, he not feeling me, but he feeling you, so go for it. It's not no it's girl code. It's so lame, so played out, and we both sitting here single and thirsty. Like, I'll get over it, because if I like him, I don't even know him. Like, I just like the way he looks at this point. Like, oh my God, I see him. This is our third time seeing him. Like, I don't even know his name. Like, I like you. Circle yes or no. It's like, no. Fair game.
Yeah, I agree. I think it would be very awkward though. Over time, like at first, but depending on like how long the friend has had interest in the person, how far has it gotten? Like, is this just a person that the friend saw when you all were out and it's like, oh, I'm feeling him?
That's what I was. Oh my God!
Or is it like,
did they talk and it didn't work out?
On a date and it didn't work out, but now he likes my friend? That's a girl.
No. It can't go that far. No.
Okay. Yeah, I need clarification. I don't want to just be like, girl, we're older and don't let him go to waste.
Right. There's levels. levels to this, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I have most certainly had a guy that I met because he was dating my friend, right? And they dated for several years, right? And then they broke up, but we kind of all ran in the same circle, so I would run into him every now and again or whatever. And at some point he asked me on a date, and I looked at him and I was like, sir, the reason why I know you is because you used to date so and so.
Right.
I don't feel comfortable doing that. So I didn't necessarily like him in that way anyway, but I felt weird about it. And I don't think I ever really told my friend about it, because at that point it was a moot point, right? It wasn't really an issue, but I just thought that was strange, right? You dated my friend, now you want to date me? No, thank you, sir. Have a great life. I'll see you at the next function or whatever.
Men don't think that far.
I know. No, I know they don't. But yeah, I also think that it might, depending on the levels to it. Like LaTanya said, like, did she see him one time and thought he was cute, and so she likes him, but he likes me? That's something very different than they used to date, or they've gone on several dates and it just didn't work out. Now all of a sudden he's interested in me. Like, regardless of all of that, I do think it would behoove everyone involved, if this girl is truly my friend, that we talk about it. If I'm entertaining the idea, right, of dating him or whatever.
Okay, it happened to me. It didn't happen to me. Okay, let me see if y'all see if this happened to me. My cousin got with a guy. That was my little boyfriend in high school, though. Okay. Which means it was like 3 years ago. No, like it was a while ago. Like, well over 10 years ago. He was my boyfriend. They met and they hit it off. But I was like, I don't like, if it were all like, if you line up all my boyfriends, like, he was disposable. Like, I'm like, okay. But we used to flirt up until like they got together. Then I had to cut it off immediately because she was.
That's a no. That's still a no. I don't care if it was high school. No. Yeah, I don't like it. Especially if the cousin knew. Like, I don't know.
She knew because when she
just
met
roll
her, like,
different.
I introduced them. Like, I mean, if you're okay with knowing that I slept with your boyfriend, like, but I didn't. I slept with him before. He was your boyfriend. He was mine. Like, I couldn't do it. But it was.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I wouldn't be like.
I feel like I would have less judgment about that scenario. That it's over 10 years ago, and I really don't care all that much about it. I think I would have less judgment about that than if it was like we dated 2 years ago, and I still personally may have some feelings for him, and now you've met him separate of me or through me, whatever, and now you guys are dating. I think I would feel very differently about that than.
But it was 20 years.
I dated in high school? Yeah, no. Because unless I'm actively trying to get with him still now.
Well, I mean, it was active as I don't know.
You reconnected recently?
Like, we see each other all the time. We run in the same ciphers. Like,
yeah.
I'll probably see him every 4 months, and it'd be like, "What's up?" But we never hooked up since high school. Did we? I don't know. I was legit in high school hella years ago. But whatever I thought or slick, I used to speak slick, like say little coy things to him. But when that happened, I was like, okay, wasn't that serious. Like, it didn't cost me anything, and I wasn't gaining anything by flirting. But it kind of was a little weird. But I never saw them together. She would kind of talk to me about him. Anyway,
I want to hear your story about it, girl. Tell your friends.
I'm her friend now.
I'm her friend.
Your other ones. I don't care if I don't want them no more. Like, it's just an odd thing to me. It's like,
yeah, I don't want to hear about it. Okay,
I don't want to see it either. Bad girl.
LaTanya.
I'll still be your friend, but no.
All right, you want a scenario, a question, or a personal truth?
I guess I'll go with a question. The questions have been very interesting today.
All right.
When a woman marks her territory, what does she normally leave at her man's house?
What did you leave?
Okay, so when that's so funny because we just had this conversation in our group chat, and then I had the conversation with my husband. So
Share.
what I used to do is he would go to work. This was when he was a gym teacher, and then I would have to work later than him. And so before he would leave, like I would make up the bed, but I would spray my perfume all over my hands and rub the perfume all over the sheets, like the fitted sheet, the flat sheet, and the covers.
Wow.
Okay. Literally marking yourself.
So I would not like spray it. I was just like rub it on my hands and like rub it all over the pillow, like wherever I knew he would lay his head. And like one day we were on the phone. He's like, "Man, oh, I just still smell you."
Like, yeah, goofball.
Yeah. So I told him like way later, couple of years down the line, he was like, "You sneaky."
Yeah.
And of course, women mark their territory overall with weave. Them pieces, like when your hair sheds, is over. The weave is everywhere. The bathroom, the
Especially when
like,
you do this.
yeah, like if I do this, oh, it's everywhere. Don't brush your hair in the bathroom. Like the weave is everywhere, and some men are not that. They don't pay attention that much. So I have some other things that, but I don't want to put my girls out there like that. So,
well, I'll tell you what happened to me. I don't know if I necessarily marked my territory. Like I said, maybe it was a hair thing. I would like, oops. Because mine is distinctive. It's gray. It's been gray for a very long time. Like, but then I'd be like, damn, they might think his granny was here. Like, and it wouldn't even work. So, but this was when I was living in Brooklyn. I was making up the bed because he left for work. I was making up the bed, and there was some underwear in the sheet. I said,
oh, shit.
damn. I'm like, this bitty marked my territory. This is my
Did you get to the bottom of that? Like the story just stops there, Joe? No.
It has to. It's no other reason that it wasn't mine. He was lived alone. I was his girlfriend. So whatever else that was in that apartment that wasn't mine, he was cheating. I just left him on a nicely made bed. Like, all right.
Oh, did you take the underwear and like put it on the pillow? Like I saw this.
Put him on the bed. Like, damn, nigga. Like, yo. But he did try to say, oh, those were from like whatever. And then we had been dating a minute. So, dude, really? Like they just wiggled their way from under the mattress? Like, stop it. So that was me. Somebody marked my territory.
That's not cool.
With her squirrel covers.
Oh man.
Women leave underwear. I don't know if I've ever marked. If I do, I'd probably leave like hair things or something. But then everybody got those. I'm like, damn, was that mine?
Some women leave lashes as well. Yeah.
See, I don't know. I can't keep up because I promise you, like last year I was at a guy's house And you know, it was whatever. We had a good time, watched whatever, and I go to leave, and I'm like, he told me he's not dealing with anybody, not dating, not married. But then I see one of these hair things, right? And I'm like, damn, is that mine? Like, I got confused. I'm like, shit.
So you need to leave something that's definitely yours.
I don't know if it was mine. I just saw it by the couch. I'm like, damn, was that there before?
This conversation.
But LaTanya, I am taking notes on that perfume trick.
Yeah.
I have nobody's territory to mark, but you know, just in case. I
Yeah,
need to
the
tap into that later.
Right here.
The perfume worked. No.
Right. I'm like, I see how that went. So definitely taking notes.
All right, Dawn, we have time for you to choose something.
Personal truth. Be honest. What calms you down when you're angry? Nothing. At damn all. Nothing. Like, be honest. What calms you down when you're angry? Like, literally me. I have to like talk to the Lord in prayer. Like when I'm angry, I have to say, don't. Why? Don't. Not even worth it. Like I literally have to talk myself off the ledge because no one likes me when I'm angry. Like it's just not. I started this a long time ago because I'll change the weather if I get angry. So I'm literally like that's how mad I get. Yo, you want to mess? You want to rumble with Dawn B? Like I just try not to get mad. And the people that make me that kind of mad in my life, they don't know where they are because I cannot deal. And if you bring that amount of anger, so like I chill. And then when I feel like myself getting snippy, I'll try to make a joke and then excuse myself because I'm a Libra and I get snippy. That's it. So me.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to see Dawn angry. Like for real, for real. Like I've been in Dawn's space enough here. I'm like, oh no, I won't mess with her.
I know, because it gets just too much. Aw. I'm really nice most of the time. 98% of the time I feel really good.
Yeah. But I wouldn't test it.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
I pray, but I also write. I think I write and then I pray while I'm writing. And then because if I go back to my journals, I can see at what point I started praying because my writing was not kind at first, and then it starts to be like, okay, you know what? I'm going to just, do this or talk to that person or let it go or whatever. But yeah, I need space. Like I don't like to be in any, with anybody. If I'm angry, I would like to be alone. I would like for you to leave me alone. So
Yeah.
I would agree. I just want to add food too. So
what's your go-to food?
Yeah.
Dang, I don't think probably wings and pizza. Yeah. I mean, it's not gonna solve the situation, but it can at least diffuse me for a little bit so I can slow my thoughts down because I'm thinking about the food. But prayer, of course, first. But if there's an action, it's food.
I mean, like immediately though. Immediately. As soon as you get angry, you be like,
I have to walk away then.
Right. No, I can't.
I wish I had a witty way to excuse myself like you. I just have to just
or not. Yes, no. The chicken Harold's the other day, they did my order wrong. I waited 40 minutes. Like, at the very least, can you just have my order properly? Oh, she tripping over some sauce. I'm like, I am. I mean, I paid this amount of money. I waited this amount of time.
48 minutes though.
It was like 30 minutes, like legit up there on 87th and Kedzie. And she was like, it's time for me to go home. I was like, me too, sis. Me too.
Right.
Like, and then she was like, I'll love us some sauce. Yeah, specifically did not want sauce on it because then my children won't eat it. So then I would have to make another 39-minute trip back up here. She was like, you tripping. I said, and you need customer service etiquette. Now, old Dawn B I wouldn't have calmed down. Yo, lashes would have caught it, son. But see, but that was the last time. I was so mad. I got so mad. Like on top of that, I was angry. Like you gonna.
Oh yeah, that's bad. When you are hangry and angry, two different.
I'm like, oh my God. It just shot me into another stratosphere. Like,
you know what? Honestly, Don, I don't get angry. People, I'm lying. No, but seriously, I stopped getting angry at people, and it's not to be mean about anyone's profession or what they do for a living. I stopped getting angry at people at Harold's, McDonald's, Walmart, and things like that, because I'm not at a 5-star anything. Yeah. And you should get the good customer service, but you just don't. And so it's like, when you know who and what you're dealing with, you act accordingly. I try not to let them get me that upset.
This is true. But if I pay them,
that
extended prices, and you let me walk all the way to my car, all I did was just say,
Yeah, I would have been irritated.
But I was just a little irritated. And you're right. To your point, I get it. You are right. Like, all right, you know what? They don't even teach that no more. I mean, the chick at McDonald's one time asked me when I got to the register, "You want something?" I was like, "Oh my God."
Well, I mean, that's even better. It used to be what you want.
Right. You want something. I was like, "No, I'm here to visit you." Like, I remember. I was in Brooklyn. I couldn't believe she said that. But yeah, I didn't get angry, but I got mad at that chick on 87th and Cassie at the Harold's, on 87th and Cassie by the wall.
Yeah, last push you got.
Put it all the way out there, Dawn.
All right, ladies, it's time for us to say goodnight. So sit tight so I can play the outro. Thank you for watching Candid Conversations. We had a fun time. I'm so sorry about my voice, but thank you, Ms. Aliyah Abdullah, for joining us and sharing with us your information. Thank you, Ms. Lika the Diva, for sharing your beauty tips. And of course, the Girl Talk panel with the questions, scenarios, and personal truths. We didn't do any personal truths. But anyway, next week we have handbag designer Erica Jackson and Taryn with the spotlight on money. Have a blessed week. I love you all. I can't talk. Just read the screen. Good night.